Hello there, this is AssassinKnife Films on YouTube and Reddit, and this is the AssassinKnife Argo. AssassinKnife is a custom maker from Armenia. His name is Arsen. He's a really good guy, really cool to talk to. He's very humble, it seems, to be honest, and he's overall a pretty good guy. And I bought this knife. I had originally heard from him on Discord, and people were raving about him, about how great he is and all this stuff. And I saw some of his knife that he had made, and it looked badass. I mean, absolutely badass. Just like this one does. This one looks absolutely sick and badass, and it's a big freaking knife. It's a 4-inch blade, basically. This is M390. Here's the certificate of authenticity. But it's an M390, carbon fiber scales, titanium liners, titanium pocket clip, carbon fiber backspacer. But this is basically the red quartz carbon fiber with the marbled carbon fiber handles. Really nice look, actually. Titanium pocket clip with hidden hardware for the pocket clip, and then minimal hardware as possible for the rest of it, which is, you know, just for the handle scales, and that's pretty much it. The blade is really well centered. I would say it's essentially, you know, almost dead on, or if not dead on centering. The action is actually really smooth. It's not bad, especially considering this is steel bearings. This is not even ceramic bearings, yet it almost feels like steel bearings. Ceramic bearings. It's very smooth, but that could be because of the weight of the blade. Helps counteract any of those little small nuances in friction between the steel ball and the titanium. So that could be that. But in any case, it's really smooth. Really nice action. Deploys very fast. Now this one is capable of being wrist locked or wrist pop opened, which is where you just kind of like move your wrist and then lock it, and it opens up and it flies out like crazy. So the deten is fairly light. From my understanding, that's how he makes the knives. You can request, if you order a custom, or if you're trying to buy a knife from him, you can request for him to worsen the detent, which is where he will make the detent a bit stronger. He will do that upon request. In fact, he will basically make you just about anything you can think of. I bought this knife. I had placed an order for a full custom with feather Damascus from Slatanox or something like that, a Russian steel maker, Russian Damascus steel maker. So I ordered one from him with feather Damascus, Damascus bolsters, and then gold quartz carbon fiber with a Damascus pocket clip and Damascus backspacer. And that will come in probably in the next 4, maybe 5 months or so. So it's still a ways away. But I ended up finding this. He had this one for sale, immediately available. And I was like, you know what, let me buy it and check it out, see if I like it. I actually do love the knife. I like everything about it. I like the fit and finish, about how he is a full custom maker, meaning he's not popping these out of a CNC machine. He doesn't really have much in terms of machining. He's got some belt sanders, some lathes, but that's about it. I don't even know if he has a lathe, but I know he has basically some really interestingly jerry-rigged belt sanders, and it's pretty cool to see somebody with that ingenuity come up with those interesting solutions to come up with a knife where there's really no real gaps on this knife. Whenever you're looking at the knife, it's amazing that, you know, his scales fit flush with the liners. And I'll tell you who didn't have flush scales with their liners: Hinderers. I bought a Hinderer Generation 6 3.5 inch. And that one, the scale actually showed showed some light through the scale, and that kind of bugged me because I was like, hey, I thought this was precision made. Another knife that actually shows a little bit of light, not as much, but it does show, is my Millet Knives Torrent, which is supposedly made by these badass CNCers, and the overlay actually has a bit of a gap. I think you guys might be able to see there just barely might be able to see it, but you know, there is gaps in knives and stuff, and I find it quite amazing that this one, between the bolsters, there's no real gaps. Between the back spacer, there's no gaps. It's all really, really nice and flush. As you can see there, really, really well made, really well centered blade. Action is pretty smooth. Action is actually really, really smooth for a knife with steel bearings. It does have a ceramic deten, but it's steel bearings, which is, and if anybody knows, they're usually not as smooth as ceramic, but this works pretty damn well. The pocket clip is titanium with custom anodizing, where he kind of scratched a pattern in there. And I don't know why, but I really dig that. It looks almost like a tree root that has grown into the knife, and it's almost like, hey, I'm gonna grab hold of you and keep you in your place, kind of, which is what a pocket clip is supposed to do. The carbon fiber, I've been around a lot of carbon fiber. I've been around exotic carbon fiber. I've been around extremely high density carbon fiber used for plane construction, for critical infrastructure construction. And I'm talking about weaves that are like insane. This is really, really nice, great quality carbon fiber. So one of the things with carbon fiber, if you're not making it properly, or if you lack the experience of making it, is that you can have carbon fiber with a bunch of little pitting. And that happens. That's normal in carbon fiber construction. As the resin starts to cure, as it starts to sit, sometimes the weaves do not allow the epoxy to go in, and they leave tiny, tiny little crevices. And there is none here. This is what's considered zero void carbon fiber, where there is no voids, or there is minimal amounts of void. And Arsen, the knife maker, he actually checks the quality of all of his materials. He will check the quality of the Damascus, he will check the quality of the carbon fiber, and if it doesn't meet his requirement, he will not use it. So there has been times where he will say, hey, I'm delaying the knife because this carbon fiber was shit, or this Damascus that I received, it was not up to par. It was not up to quality standards, so he won't even use it. So it's nice to see that he has a tremendous amount of pride in his knives, and that he is not going to put out a product unless it's good, unless the materials are good, and unless his craftsmanship is good. And you can definitely tell the grind lines on the blade are, quite frankly, amazing for somebody that did this on a belt. The grinds are very, very even on both the swedge on the top and of course the main grind. They're very, very even, and I swear, if he had told me that he did this on a CNC machine, I wouldn't doubt it, because he's got some grind lines that are better than Benchmates. They're better than a lot of knife makers, which I don't want to name because then it gets into too much BS, and that's not really what this is about. This is about enjoying knives, and quite frankly, a grind line that's a little bit crooked is not going to impact it much. So I don't really want to get too much into that. But this guy makes really, really nice, really, really well made knives. They're basically very homemade, very custom. This is truly where you can find full custom knife maker, and he's in Armenia, and like I said, he's good to communicate with. He seems to say yes to just about everything, except I did ask him if he would polish my my Damascus blade, because I did not want him to etch it, because I was gonna etch it myself using a Japanese mixture of stone and steel, and it leaves a very nice etching behind. But he said that he didn't feel comfortable doing that because his mirror polishes are not that great. And he basically warned and said, no, I don't think I can do that. Like, I don't think it's going to be up to the quality. Basically, he wasn't willing to compromise. And he was like, I can't sell that. Like, I can't do that. Because I guess in his mind, he's like, what happens if I do it? He's disappointed because he can't see any of the pattern. And, you know, he's disappointed. So I understood his point, why he stood ground. I still would have preferred it to have been polished, but I haven't worked with his Damascus material, so maybe he's saying, hey, I've tried this before, hey, it doesn't work. Like, you can't see it, period. But it is what it is. It's fine. It's not a big deal, but great guy. If you do want something from him, reach out to him on Instagram. He also has, I think, a WhatsApp number or a phone number. Sorry, I think it's a WhatsApp. But he's got a phone number there. Feel free to reach out to him. He's a good guy. His email is assassincredo@gmail.com. You can follow him on Instagram at AssassinCRDO, which is basically Credo without the E. And check out his work. Check out the way that he makes the knives. He's really a fantastic little maker. And I think once he starts to grow and expand his business, his selection, his models, his craft will just keep getting better, and I can't wait to see that. See you guys.